The thoughts, opinions, and general overall shades thrown on High at 9 News are those of the individual speakers and not those of High at 9 News, its audience, or its advertisers. The statements made do not constitute medical, legal, or financial advice, and for advice tailored to your specific situation, please consult with a licensed professional. Welcome to the High at 9 News Hour, where you will hear from cannabis industry experts and professionals from around the country talk about important topics while shining light on global issues and discussing cannabis as it relates to politics, regulation and reform, data and technology, science, research and medicine, family and parenting, art, celebrities and entertainment, fitness, sports, mental health and wellness, and plant-based medicines and entheogenics. Together, we are building a stronger community, fighting the stigma and creating change. With your hosts, Jason Beck and Rico Lamitte, joined by special industry expert correspondents from around the country, and daily antics brought to you by Cannabis. Coming to you live every Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. Pacific Time and high noon on the East Coast. And thank you all for getting high at 9 with us. Oh, yeah, you guys do not get to see me today, apparently, but whatever. We had some technical difficulties going on over here.
There is a God.
Yeah, you're it's all right. You just see my better half right now, just big black in the building. That's right, it's good morning. It's Monday, August 7th, and today is National Sea Serpent Day for all those swamp creatures that live around Gretchen, as top of National Raspberries and Cream Day, and National Lighthouse Day, and of course, we cannot forget one of the most important ones. It is also National Purple Heart Day. Oh, yeah. Thank you for joining us and getting high at 9 with us. It's also high noon on the East Coast. And please remember to like, share, and subscribe to us on all social media platforms. Use that fancy little QR code right there in the top-hand corner of your screen to see where we live on the internet. And we're live every Monday through Friday on YouTube and audio only on nothing right now other than YouTube. And with all of that said and done, we're going to kick it right over to the dope dad himself. That's right. It's Rico Lamitte. He loves to flip-flop. He loves to backstroke. He loves to backpedal. But, of course, he loves to change little baby Zozo's diapers. That's right. It's the dope dad himself. It's Rico Lamitte.
You're on mute, Rico.
Thank you, Jason. Big shout out to other dope dads out there as well. So tomorrow marks the 10-year anniversary of Dr. Sanjay Gupta's Why I Changed My Mind on Weed article on CNN.com that would have changed the game forever. Prior to the written piece, which was followed by a docuseries, Gupta's on cannabis, medical or otherwise, had been that of a prohibitionist. It took him actually seeing the benefits firsthand in Colorado with Charlotte Figge, epileptic seizures since birth at age 3, and having 300 per week despite being on 7 commonly prescribed epilepsy medications. Desperate for any type of relief, Charlotte's parents enrolled her in a medical cannabis regimen that reduced her seizures to 2 or 3 a month, letting her live the best life possible for a child with her condition until unfortunately passing away at 13 years old, April 2020. Several doctors prior to Gupta had been vocal about medical benefits of cannabis, but his high profile and broad exposure set the nation on a more empathetic path toward medical consumption, paving the way for increased social acceptance and arguably for adult use legalization as well. Last night, Dr. Gupta premiered Weed 7, Cannabis is Having a Senior Moment, the 7th installation of an ongoing investigative series exploring different issues in medical cannabis, where he interviews operators and patients about their experiences. Part 7 explores the fastest growing consumer segment in the industry, senior citizens. Why, what, and how they're consuming, and what future implications it could have on America. He speaks with 94-year-old Floridian Ken Tillman about his first dispensary visit and how it inspired him to open up his own dispensary. Also, 75-year-old former Catholic school teacher Mama Sue Taylor, who is known for admonishing people for any sort of drug use at all, seeing it no different than heroin and cocaine, now widely known as a nationwide advocate for expanded access and legalization. Throughout the doc, Gupta makes the argument cannabis can help decrease the number of medications seniors are taking and totally revolutionize the pharmaceutical industry as we know it. A couple of key stats that he brought up that I thought were interesting. Since 2020, the United States has spent $4 trillion a year on healthcare, of which almost $580 billion was spent on pharmaceuticals alone in 2021. When it comes to seniors, 30% of people over the age of 65 take 5 or more pharmaceuticals every day. But as they have increasingly turned to cannabis instead of pills, the expectation is that prescribed medication use decreases. Though the series can at times be a bit dry, with many regurgitated facts and points that we in the cannabis industry are familiar with, I still highly recommend checking it out if you can, if for nothing else, to see a more mainstream industry outsider point of view of how cannabis is perceived. My question is this: if senior citizens are the key to totally disrupting the pharmaceutical industry as we know it, and most of us agree that it's plants over pills all day, there's a $4 trillion pot at stake here. Huge opportunity for capitalists to cash in. We're stuck in arguments about banking, social equity, and saving the children. Why is there not greater emphasis on our world's vocal advocates on cannabis use for senior care? I'm Rico Lamitte, the dopest dad on the street. I want to hear from you guys. Why are we not caring more about the senior citizens and bringing them into the fold with these arguments?
Well, I think a lot of people don't have amazing relationships with a lot of senior citizens, and so therefore, because they don't have a lot of relationships with senior citizens, they don't know how to interact with senior citizens.
I find that to be an odd statement, since I think most of us have parents who might be in the senior citizen range, and plenty of family members as well who would also fit that bill. I don't see why we can't hit more on the senior citizen side. Frankly, most of the folks who I've talked to who are not familiar with cannabis are of the older generation and are asking questions and trying to figure out how they can use it. I think we need to hit up seniors with a lot more education. I think the folks who start marketing to old folks' homes and getting in there and trying to talk with people about what they need, especially down in good old Florida where they all seem to love to live, I think they can corner that damn market if they wanted to.
So, you know, Florida.
I totally agree. Back when I want to say 2016, 2017, back when I was with my old company before we went public, Bud and Bloom out in Orange County was one of our clients. And we actually helped them with a program marketing to seniors, and it was the biggest boon for them, like financially. Just like, it was crazy. Just taking a bus out there to visit the old folks and getting them out to the dispensary, getting them really acclimated with how cannabis is in modern times versus when they were smoking weed back in the 70s and everything like that. Not only was it really educational, really awesome, but they became the biggest buyers, period. Like a consistent buyers. And it wasn't just like tinctures and pills and stuff like that. They were into, a couple of them were big dabbers, and they love that shit. So it was really eye-opening to me to actually work with the senior citizens at that point and to see how much money can be made with that community. And I'm surprised it really hasn't caught on. Was this 7 years later? I really don't see much like really targeting senior citizens in our world.
Well, I think another problem for seniors, which I know was a hurdle for my mother, was convincing her doctor, who she's been seeing forever, who she's comfortable with, to provide her with the recommendation, because she does live in a medical-only state. And so I think that is a big hurdle for a number of these folks, is having their doctors on board to actually discuss it with, because that's somebody they trust to actually ask the questions. It doesn't surprise me, Rico, what you're saying about your past company, because I believe this generation is the crowd that was loving it back in the 60s and 70s and stuff. So they're familiar with the herb. They're just not familiar with today's current products. And so I think that's where a lot of their questions are coming from and how it can be applied to help them out. My mother has struggled recently with concerns with, how how would I say, not her mental health, but her Alzheimer's runs in my family. And so just forgetfulness and are we seeing early onset signs of it? And when she started doing a tincture, she was waking up clear as a bell, no issues. Right. And she's like, holy shit, this shit works. And I'm like, I wasn't making this up, Mom. Try it.
I always bring up the story with my grandfather. Really bad knee issues. He was really having trouble walking, and he kind of disowned me when I quit finance and went into the weed industry. And then when we were in public, he called me up and wanted me to send him some roll-on for his knees. And he was really reaching out for education because he was wondering why his CBD really wasn't working for him. It was a really good bonding moment for us, and started dancing again. And he's like a weekly dancing class now. I got a couple girlfriends down the street. I'm loving it, man.
When I first got into cannabis, my mother said to me, like, I told her, I'm like, oh, I'm going to go work for a cannabis data company. And she was like, Mary Jane? And I was like, yes, Mom. And she was like, are there benefits? And I was like, yes, they're not paying me in weed. This is a real job, pays money. And she was like, wow, that's bizarre. And she was like, okay. And she was a little nervous to tell her friends. But now they're all asking me for where can they get stuff? Like, I'm a dealer. And I'm like, get a medical card. Here's a list of dispensaries. Go figure it out.
I think Florida, if they come online the way we think they are, either way, I think Florida can be a real game changer for senior citizens in cannabis because of the elderly population out there. And, it's easy to market to as well.
To see the story of all these folks getting off opioids, and seniors are great because seniors are kind of like puppies for the general public. It's one thing to say that human beings are getting off opioids doesn't quite tug at the heartstrings, and grandma and grandpa are getting off opioids. And another personal story. It's so funny that people trust so blindly in their medical doctors. Because if you look at these guys, like, they're just humans, they're fallible. Most of them want to do good things, but you ask them about nutrition, most of them know nothing. You look at their own physiology. Most doctors have a big beer gut and they're balding, can't see, and are just in horrible shape. And something that they never discuss with their patients is the fact that pharmaceutical reps tour around giving them all types of vacations, gift cards, gift certificates to Costco and or other, even more like luxury department stores, and basically are pumping all of these rewards for these doctors prescribing newer medications, because even though there's more than enough medications for most issues that your average human suffers, they're constantly falling out of patent, becoming generic, and thus the profit motive the bottom drops out. And so these pharmaceutical reps have to keep getting the doctors to try the very newest slight tweak on a molecule because that one's still patented, and so that company can then profit billions and billions of dollars. So I think it's really important. I just want to say, as a human being, to never blindly trust your doctor and advocate for yourself, and go to the library or get on the internet and read and get off of Facebook and get really into medical studies, get into articles from teaching universities, and make sure to advocate for yourself. My grandpa, when he was 80, was dying and couldn't string a sentence together, couldn't get off the couch. And my aunt went down to the hospital and met with his doctor at Kaiser and got the list of drugs he was on. He was on like 20 different pills, and it had been about a 15-year journey of heart pressure, the blood pressure pill, and then the pill to deal with the blood pressure side effects, and then the pill to deal with the side effects of that, and then the pill to give him energy, and then the pill to deal with the side effects of that. All of a sudden, he's literally dying from pharmaceutical overload. We got him down to, it was somewhere between 2 to 4 pills. Within a week, he had back to himself. He was playing golf. He was running around. He was laughing. He was just like full of life again. And if we hadn't have advocated for him as his family members, and he would have just blindly trusted his medical professional, he would have been dead years before his.
Well, and I think that's so true. I mean, my mother, yes, she got her doctor to come around, but it wasn't until constant beating on this doctor, like, give me the recommendation, give me the recommendation, give me, and they're like, I don't know anything. She's like, I don't care, give me the recommendation. Yeah, I mean, if you your think doctor's I'm a pain in the ass, you should meet my mother. I mean,
and your doctor's not in any way in charge of you. If your doctor won't work with you and work at your directive to get you the treatment you want, you can always go to another doctor, provided you have the resources. And then we get into the whole get into the whole discussion of like, do human beings who live on Earth deserve medical care? Oh, let's go to our next story.
Oh boy! Oh boy! Oh boy! Oh boy!
Oh, okay.
I know. I know.
Jason, are you able to run an ad?
See that's a Jesse question. Jesse, are we able to run a commercial? Let's see.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, let's see.
Hey!
Let's see if we can run a commercial, Jesse.
How's it going, guys? Saman Razani coming to you from Green Street here with Jason Beck, smoking on the best weed in the world. Did you know that we have an audio-only version of our podcast available on Apple, Google, Amazon, iHeartRadio, and Spotify? Tune in now and check it out.
All right. He is the industry's longest continuously operating retailer, known for smoking the best weed in the world. And he's in the dark today, presumably because all of the CCTV feeds have been cut now at Mar-a-Lago. Y'all know who it is, Jason Beck.
Oh, boy. Oh, man, Rico. Good morning, everybody. I hope you guys are having a great day. Happy Monday. It is the most important day of the week. But... oh, man, we're going to go over to Florida real quick, you guys, because the Florida marijuana legalization campaign is a True Leaf monopoly push, the state says. Oh, boy. A True Leaf Cannabis Corp sponsored marijuana legalization campaign in Florida is actually an effort to mislead voters into tightening the company's monopolistic stranglehold on the state's cannabis market, the state attorney general alleged in court filings this week. True Leaf is the main sponsor behind the Smart and Safe Florida campaign, and the Tallahassee-based multi-state operator has contributed nearly $40 million behind the effort to put adult use legalization on the November ballot in 2024. Standing in True Leaf's way are anti-drug advocates, the State Chamber of Commerce, and the Attorney General Ashley Moody, all of whom are attempting to convince the state Supreme Court to declare the proposed ballot measure unconstitutional. Earlier this summer, the campaign submitted more than 900,000 signatures from registered voters, more than enough to qualify the measure, according to Miami TV station WFOR. Opponents sued to block it, arguing that the initiative covers too many subjects as well as potentially tricking voters. According to WFOR, State Solicitor General Henry Whitaker argued in court filings Wednesday that the, in quotes, carefully crafted ballot summary misleads in ways that, though sometimes subtle, are likely to influence voters, and to do so in a way that entrenches the sponsor's monopolistic stranglehold on the marijuana market to the detriment of Floridians, they say. In another quote, in its pursuit of a larger customer base and greater profits, True Leaf has invited millions of Floridians to join in recklessness violation of federal criminal law, Whitaker continued. In another quote, the initiative should have been stricken, he says. Only existing medical marijuana operators would be allowed to enter the adult use market unless the state legislature amends the state law to allow more licenses, and Whitaker's brief added that both True Leaf and Smart and Safe campaign pushed back, calling the ballot language strict and conservative and easy to understand, WFOR reported, and True Leaf operates about 1/4 of Florida's 475 medical marijuana dispensaries. And oh man, True Leaf is under some fire today in Florida for their ballot initiative. And this is Jason Beck for the High at 9 News. What do y'all think about this?
I mean,
isn't this what y'all were fighting over last week?
I mean, I don't think we were fighting.
I wouldn't think you were, Jason Beck.
No, never.
I think Ebony and Ivory were clashing.
Stop it.
The black and white cookie was not getting along in the bellies.
Stop it. You trying to say there was some bubble guts going on involved?
Y'all out there.
Yes, there's some bubble guts going on in the room.
Oh. I want to do Rico's follow the money. Who's paying off the Florida Attorney General? What side is she on?
Well,
she's apparently against good old True Leaf.
Yeah, she's against True Leaf. She is definitely against True Leaf. You know what? I'm willing to bet that she's probably just an avid prohibitionist and is doing it just out of spite and the save the children mantra type of thing, and not actually getting paid off by an outside force. Or
Rico, do you believe that?
Maybe Project Sam is paying her.
I just think that they need to pony up some more cash to Ron DeSantis's presidential campaign.
Ron DeSantis' presidential campaign is washed like detergent soap.
It's done. Over
That's
with.
crazy. You
Burn
Over
all
with.
that cash on
Can't take
PJs.
uptight white Christian hate and export it nationwide and win. It's so weird, you guys. It's like it's just
boy.
you don't hate people out here in California. I mean, maybe like along the I-5 corridor, and there's a couple folks in Orange County, but for the most part, just not into hating people. So you're gonna have to try to get somebody that's not pushing active hatred.
How could you hate anyone in Orange
Illegalization
County?
of people's self-expression. I am fucking amazed. Pardon my French. I'm amazed. We're back to the 50s and the 60s. Like, didn't we all agree that people can just love who they want and express themselves how they want without fear of losing their job or being harmed by another human? To me, it's just like, come on, you guys. Get some of the acid with me. Take a look at the facts. We're all related. We're all a family. How do you treat your family? You love them. Start being nice to each other. Say no to Meatball Ron.
I will say, though, in the defense, this is not a good bill for Floridians overall, in my opinion.
Why?
Well, it's horrible. It's horrible, but the
What-
whole
what do we
Florida
don't like
system has
about it?
been.
I'm just wondering.
Well, the Florida system's been game since the beginning. Florida was first going to have only 7 permits. I was in meetings with the ex-vice mayor. I'm not going to say his name, but one of the ex-vice mayors of Orlando, Florida, some other cats down there, and they already had, before even the meetings and they were going to assign the licenses, they already had a license ramped up. When I saw the level of corruption, I was just like, dude, I'm not flying to Florida to like part in this whole thing. It's totally dirty. And so don't really be surprised by anything that's happening in Florida, because the whole thing's happening in closed doors amongst people who either hold office or have held office before, and the major business leaders in Florida. Florida's sewn up by the corporations and good old boy interests.
Jason, I want to hear why you don't like the bill.
Well, first of all, I don't like the bill because it doesn't allow for any new licenses. I also don't like the bill because of the fact that it does not allow for home grow. I think it's a very monopolistic type of precursor for the state of Florida. And just on those couple of points alone, I'm inclined to vote no if I was a voter in Florida.
I think Florida was seen to become a monopoly state from the beginning, right?
Mm-hmm.
When they started out.
That was the plan. I was in meetings before they announced publicly that was the plan, and that they already had the whole plan done. All 7 licenses were already put out. And then they went to 12, and some other folks kind of pushed into the process.
Right. And then when Meatball Ron, he came up and said that he's going to charge people $1 million to re-up on their license a year.
I'm not mad at that part. I'm not mad at that part. I'm totally fine with that.
Who's going to be able to afford that besides True Leave?
All the companies in Florida can, because they're all big.
No,
giant.
not all of them can. Not all of them can.
Oh?
But you'll have
so?
over half of them 100% could pay that bill easily.
So what about the other half?
Just for a licensing fee? What are you going to use? Are you going to have any money for anything else to run your business at all?
I'm just saying. I think that the cost of licenses in Florida is very cheap, and that it definitely, with how their structure is currently operating, that they could totally use a fee increase. I'm not opposed to that.
Because there's only 12 licenses, that's only $12 million bucks total.
Yeah, it's only $12 million bucks, Rico. It's not a lot of money.
Okay. Sure.
Yeah, it's not. Can I get $1 million bucks, you guys? It's not a lot of money. I'm gonna throw up my Cash App QR code here in a minute.
Being paid monthly by Burisma.
What are you saying? What kind of sideball discussion are you throwing in there now, Rico?
I said, what was 12 million? What is that? What Hunter Biden was getting paid monthly by?
Oh, he was getting paid way more than that. He was getting paid bread. He was getting broke off, plus the 10% for the big guy. Oh, look, I'm there. Look, you guys can see me now.
Oh, shit.
Look at
He really
that.
is in Mar-a-Lago.
Yeah,
Man.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Gretchen.
Yeah, I see
You're
Ralph
welcome, Gretchen.
Nada in the background there, moving boxes.
Yeah, you know we're all about that moving boxes.
Those are the
baby.
documents right there. Those are the last documents.
That's it. Yeah.
Trying to build them into the walls. They took the drywall
Clear
off.
codes.
Just waiting for the
Post-it
attorney
notes.
general to come by here and come grab it.
Oh my
Why, Jason's got the bathroom punch codes for all of the embassies in downtown Washington, D.C.
I actually just have a fob.
It's a clone key card.
Yes. Yep. It's those, those little orange things that they sell on the internet. You know what I mean? Those what are those things? Those that switch up the frequency on everything.
The COVID report card?
No. The RFID thing, the little orange things that they sell on the internet that can basically
voter guys. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about, Chris. Law enforcement knows what those things are.
I learned about that not through law enforcement, but yeah, I got you. I got what you're saying.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm picking up and
little
putting down. Exactly. Yeah, no, I've watched those things work on a few people's Tesla's cars that were not theirs. So it definitely those things definitely work.
Allegedly.
No, they definitely work 100%. I witnessed it with my own eyes. All right, we're going to keep it moving. We're going to keep it moving. Now that I'm back, we're going to kick it right on into the spicy redheaded conservative. That's right, it's Gretchen Gailey, who loves to wear pineapples on top of dressing up her dogs in her outrageous outfits, and then she goes and parades them up and down the streets of Washington, D.C. I feel so bad for her pets, but at least right now there's one in the back that is not dressed up in a crazy outfit, so good for him. Oh, yeah, that's right. She's the founder of Panoptic Strategies. It is Gretchen Gailey.
Alrighty. The month of August is when stories come to die in Washington, so there ain't jack going on. So I picked something in tribute to Jason Beck, because this thing's looked like a story that I thought he would absolutely love.
So much, Gretchen. Thank you so
You're
much.
Welcome. This is coming from Willamette Week. Cannabis king Aaron Mitchell is embroiled in a bitter legal battle with owners over a sushi restaurant adjacent to a Lamotta dispensary. Fuck you, Aaron Mitchell wrote to the restaurant owner. Pay me, motherfucker. Seems like a Jason Beck story. Lamotta owner Aaron Mitchell, whose battle with the Oregon Liquor and Cannabis Commission and dealings with former Secretary of State Shamia Fagan put him and his longtime partner Rosa Cazares in the spotlight this spring, finds himself in another bitter legal battle, this time with the owners of a sushi restaurant in Roseburg that shares a wall with one of Lamotta's 30 Oregon dispensaries. The court battle started last fall over a sewer line in the building. Mitchell and one of the LLCs he controls sued Kwang Chol Park and Young Ho Park, the owners of Ami Sushi in Douglas County Circuit Court, alleging that they had tapped into plaintiff's sewer line rather than construct and maintain their own line. As a result, Mitchell's lawsuit said the park's sewer line was depositing corrosive restaurant waste into the plaintiff's sewer line. That caused it to fail and allegedly emit a foul odor into the dispensary. The lawsuit alleged the odor caused the dispensary to lose profits amounting to $200,000. In their response to Mitchell's lawsuit, the parks asserted they had easement rights to the sewer line and had used it for more than a decade without trouble. The parks denied that they had improperly used the sewer line and alleged it was in fact Mitchell who had unfairly disconnected the sushi restaurant from the shared line, forcing the restaurant to close for a month. That case is set for a 3-day trial in November. Then on August 4th, the parks filed a lawsuit against Mitchell and his LLC over the same issue. They allege that Mitchell's actions caused the restaurant financial and physical damages by disconnecting their sewer line. The lawsuit alleges Mitchell also knew and intended to inflict several severe mental and emotional distress on the park's family and directed his outrageous actions at an immigrant-owned family business. The Park Sue lawsuit doesn't specify their original nationality, have operated Ami Sushi for 17 years. Their lawsuit alleges Mitchell sent repeated, rude, profanity-laced messages to mock and intimidate plaintiffs into paying money for defendants' supposed damages. Images of those text messages are below, and I could read through them if y'all request. Mitchell and Cazares, who emigrated from Mexico to the United States as a young child, run 30 dispensaries across the state under the name Lamotta. Their relationship with Fagan led to her resignation in May, a relationship that's now the subject of 3 investigations, 2 by the state and 1 by the U.S. Department of Justice. 2 months prior to Fagan's resignation, Willamette Week reported on the couple's failure to pay taxes and bills, and even as they generously contributed to the election campaigns of top Oregon Democrats, including Fagan, Governor Tina Kotek, and Senate President Rob Wagner. The parks are asking for a trial and demanding $290,000 in damages. Mitchell and Cazares did not respond to requests for comment, and the attorney representing the parks also declined to comment. Does anyone want to hear the text message exchange?
I do. I totally do. 100%.
Yes.
Trying to reach down the basement, and your employee asked me to hold you first. These are the parks talking. Lamoda says back, I called you back. No, you cannot go into my basement until you pay me the $29,000 you owe me, fool. Didn't you tell me to fuck off last time? Now I'm telling you to fuck off until you pay me. Did you disconnect my sewer line? I said, fuck off, pay me. You flooded my basement 4 times. Kiss your mother with that mouth. You flooded my basement 4 times since I own the building. You're a total asshole about it every time. Now you want help? Ha ha ha. Fuck you. Hey, you cuss me out and asking money? That is what I'm understanding. I'm asking again. Did you disconnect my sewer line? Fuck you. Pay me, motherfucker. I have $29,000 in cleanup receipts. If you bother my employees again, I will get you trespassed for harassment. I really don't understand this irrational business manner. Again, did you disconnect my sewer line? Then you're a total idiot. You owe me $29,000, dick. I'm going to treat you as same as you treated me. What treating? Disconnecting my sewer line and cussing me out and asking me to pay? Is that what you're talking about? Hey, I've been trying to be nice. You just cuss me out and it's all about else. And what all F's and else? You know exactly what you did. You flooded sewage into my basement 4 times. Now you owe me $29,000 you never paid. Now I won't until you pay. You owe me $29,000 for server pro cleanup plus 4 days of lost revenue, all about $7,000 per day. If you don't connect my sewer line, it's not going to be easy for you at all. With my full legal right, I will protect my business. Meantime, 4 times flooded were not told to us, and no clue those are from us either. Should be more rational. It will be good for you to reconnect my sewer line. Then tell me what happened down there. Your obstruction of my business is illegal and costs lots of money. I will see you at the civil court for this matter. Otherwise, I hope you think carefully. This is not a joke. I am not at all worried about your legal team. Fuck you and fuck them. Yeah, see you in court. Good luck with that.
Oh boy, lots of spice over here. I actually read this article over the weekend, Gretchen, so I'm glad that you decided to choose this story. Oh man, this is such a funny story. These guys, their sewer line floods the dispensary, and then he turns off the sewer line, and then all of a sudden the sushi restaurant can't operate, and oh man, what a mess. And then the sewer line floods again and floods the sushi restaurant, and they have to close for over a week.
Well, I wish they could be a little more, or at least Lamota could be a little more civil. I don't think this has to turn into fuck you, fuck you, fuck you.
He's gonna be paying some civil fines.
Well, the thing is to my impression is that the people that own the sushi restaurant are the same people that actually own the building, so it's actually his landlord at the same time too.
Mm-hmm. Really?
No.
I think so.
Well, that's not a good plan.
I think so. That's how I understood it when I read it. Now I could be wrong. I don't want to spread misinformation, but
I don't get that impression at all. That
I received that impression.
Why?
What gave you that impression?
Huh? The name.
Where's the word landlord in any of this?
There is in the article that I read. There was the thing where they were talking about the people that own, and the name of the trust is Hong something. And so that is what gave me the impression that it is the same people that own the building that own the sushi restaurant.
I don't know where the hell you're coming up with this stuff, but all right.
It was in the article that I read. It might not be the same article.
Agreement is going to be very important.
Yep.
See what that
What
says.
do you think, Chris? What if you were an officer and you got called into this fun dispute?
Not a civil issue, not a police issue. I'm out. You guys good?
Leave me alone. Suck it.
Need anything? I'm out. I mean, here's the thing, right? When you get called as a cop, you get called to a bunch of stuff that you know before you even get there, based on the details that like this is not a police issue, and so I think it's important. You don't want to just like brush people off. People always, and I think constantly feel brushed off by law enforcement. So in that scenario, it is not a law enforcement issue. You got to make sure everyone's cool. Give them the time. Some people just want to vent and yell and all that kind of thing. But at the end of the day, this is not a police issue.
Gretchen, they want to see me and you read the text messages in a thing.
Well, who does?
I know Nick does. He wants to see you reading one side and me reading the other side.
Why? What was wrong with my wonderful depiction of it?
He says he couldn't figure out who was who.
Well, he can suck it. We ain't got time for that.
Oh yeah,
you guys got to get a Patreon, and then you can do that on the Patreon. Be
yes,
like,
we
"Yo,
can
Nick,
do that. We can do that.
dude."
Yes, we do have a Patreon, and we will maybe
There
possibly
you
put
go.
a video up like
Next
that on
thing
the
they're
first
gonna
video
do is
on our
pictures of my
Patreon.
feet. Screw
Be
that.
mom and dad reading the text message threads.
I mean, I think this guy Lamota's got a lot of other trouble. I mean, he's got DOJ after him. He's got the state after him. Really, does he have to pick a fight over a sewer line? Come on.
He sounds like he's just burning all the bridges. He's just in a scorched
Is he a
earth
Trump
campaign
supporter?
and
He's
like-
got to
Hey.
Everybody should be a Trump supporter.
be. They love to pile up those indictments. They think it's a bad courage.
It's just like ham sandwiches. It's just like going to Subway and asking for extra meat. It means nothing.
Unless
Okay.
Jared is there.
Yeah. Well, you know what? We're going to go to a commercial. We're going to be right back.
The Control Tower from Highly Educated has perfected the dab. Utilizing the concept of thin film evaporation, you can waste none of it and taste all of it. The micro texture of the SE pillar increases nucleation at elevated temperatures. And with the tower propelling at 2,600 RPMs, it's certainly the most efficient dab experience to date. The Control Tower from Highly Educated.
Oh, yeah, whatever you're doing right now, make sure you hit that like button. It really helps us with YouTube's algorithm, on top of making sure that you're subscribed to the channel if you haven't subscribed already. We apologize for the noise, but we are in a construction zone, and we're working to make the show better for you on a daily right now. Oh, yeah, also, too, make sure you check out our website, www.highat9news.com, where you can find all the articles that we cover today, on top of lots of other merchandise, different stuff, little zuzus, little wham-whams, and you can sign up for our newsletter as well. And make sure you share the show. Tell your friends about it, because we believe that organic growth is the best growth.
Explain to me why you can't do this from your living room. You would rather be in the middle of a construction zone.
I cannot do this. I cannot do this in my living room.
He's vacuuming the fuck out of that floor behind you, man.
They're getting ready to polish it, bro. They're getting ready to polish it.
Mm. All right.
Run the next
classic.
ad. Run the
This
next
is going to
ad,
be
Jesse.
classic. I love this. Just wait. In a couple years, you're going to look back. At
Exactly,
this
bro. You guys are
die.
gonna love this. Exactly.
The Control Tower from High 9 News invites you to join us and become a sponsor, supporter, and attendee for the second annual Envision Gala for This Is Jane Project, a nonprofit organization leading the way in advocating for trauma-informed care. This Is Jane Project offers a range of programs designed to shed light, build community, and uplift the lives of women and non-binary trauma survivors who use cannabis as medicine. Support this event that is sure to make an impact today. For more information about sponsorship opportunities, visit www.thisisjaneproject.org.
Up next, he's a fellow dope dad, former police officer, and now security consultant at CC Security Solutions, here to help us all improve our chances of survival. Chris Eggers.
Rico Lamitte, good morning, buddy. Good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. I hope everyone had a great weekend. Hope you had a great weekend. My article today comes out of Marijuana Moment. New Jersey officials order police department to reinstate officer who was fired over marijuana use with back pay. A New Jersey police officer was, unlawfully fired over marijuana use and must be reinstated with back pay, according to state officials. They said that last Wednesday, adopting an administrative law judge's earlier findings. About 2 months after Governor Phil Murphy signed the state's cannabis legislation bill into law in 2021, the New Jersey Police Department announced a policy barring officers from using marijuana on or off duty. One officer in particular, Norhan Mansour, was among 4 officers who were later fired for testing positive for THC and proceeded to file a suit challenging the termination. The case has now been settled by the State Civil Service Commission, the CSC, which agreed to the administrative law judge, Kimberly Moss, that the firing violated state law because the city was not able to establish that the officer used cannabis on the job or was impaired during shifts. Peter Paris, the attorney representing the officer, said, quote, "What Jersey City is doing is the equivalent to terminating police officers because they had a beer off duty. Except it's worse because there's no constitutional right to drink beer while there's a constitutional right in New Jersey to consume cannabis. The commission said that Jersey City's argument that federal law preempts the state's policy was, quote, unpersuasive and unsupported by the facts. It also said that the department's claim that the federal ban on purchasing firearms for cannabis consumers does not apply to law enforcement, as officers do not fill out the federal form about marijuana use in order to obtain a gun. I find this to be incredibly interesting. I think this is going to spark a ton of dialogue. The article does go a little bit further and even shows the state of New Jersey decision through the Civil Service Committee. It's about 16 pages long. I'm going to read it today. Haven't had a chance to read it yet, but I think it sparks a lot of interesting discussion about impairment, about search and seizure issues, and certainly about the ability to own firearms. I don't think that cops in this case should be afforded any special privileges than the general public, but I think it's going to, at a minimum, spark some interesting conversations. So that's my story for this Monday morning. Thanks for allowing me to contribute. My name is Chris Eggers for the High at 9 News Hour.
How much back pay did he get? Every day. How much back pay did he get, Chris?
I don't think it says in the article, but it was from 2021. So, I mean, it's going to be a pretty penny.
He's going to get like over a year's in back pay all in one check, right?
Yeah. Yep. And I don't know if he's going to argue, hey, what about overtime and holiday pay and, all this other stuff. I have no idea, but this is definitely going to set, I don't know if it's going to set a precedent or any kind of case law. I think it's too early to tell, but certainly this is going to spark some interesting conversations for sure.
I don't see how this doesn't set a precedent.
I think it could, absolutely. I mean, it'll see. I want to see it go final, right, first, and then I think it absolutely could become case law. But every state handles it differently. Every department handles it differently, and not all departments. I mean, the police departments do a lot of shady stuff to cops. There's a lot of
stop it. Cops do shady stuff to cops. Right. Are you serious?
Well, I just mean as far as how an organization is run, right? Like there's constantly issues with like messed up pay and it's just a very inefficient industry, extremely inefficient industry for a lot of reasons that we all know, but that does trickle down into the interiors of the departments as well.
Hey Chris, I think the deal with this one, because Jersey City cops are required to purchase their own firearms. And when we covered the story previously, is the fact that they actually have to purchase their own firearms, unlike other police officers in the state. And they said that it technically made them lie on a federal form, which made them unfit for duty.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, that's a really good point. And then then the argument would be like, why am I buying my own gun? I guess, but that's a really good point because I've actually never heard of that, Rico. I don't know of any. I've never interface with any department that makes the officers buy their own anything.
That's actually kind of cool though, isn't it, Chris? Because then like when you get put on administrative leave or whatever, all you have to turn in is your badge and not your gun.
I guess that's one way. That's one way to think about it. I would think too, though, from a department standpoint and a city standpoint, I wouldn't want officers to go out there and get their own guns and modify them in a way that now I've got a heavy lift to like certify every single gun, right? That's why I think it's more efficient to like hand out a gun. You know what that gun's going to be, and the specs of that gun. I'm not.
The deputies are rocking a 50 cal.
Exactly.
Yeah, bro. If you get to buy your own gun, bro, I'm going to get some like fully automatics and popping off.
Yes.
I keep buying like the headlights in my car so they pop out.
Just gonna get a Gatling gun from the trunk of my car.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. What's the scene in God, is it Jonah? Help me out. War Dogs? It goes to the trunk.
Oh yeah, like Reservoir Dogs. Yes, like Reservoir Dogs. Yes, that was an American classic right there.
Well, not Reservoir Dogs. It was Jonah Hill, set in Miami. Help me out. And they
super bad, and they're all shooting off guns.
Oh no! I think it's called War Dogs. They sell.
Where they are the weapons guys.
Yep, and not the Nicolas Cage version movie. Although
him and Miles Teller is the other actor.
Miles Teller. Yes, thank you, Gretchen. Jeez.
I like movies.
Oh, how cute. She likes me.
Shut up. Suck it.
Oh.
What'd you watch this weekend? What'd you watch this weekend, Gretchen? Did you put something on the Netflix queue?
No, I was watching some. I actually watched a series in Apple. The one with Tom Holland, Crowded Room. It's all this crazy. It's weird.
There's a lot of people in the movie.
He's like in some intense gay sex scenes in that.
He is. And
I heard about that.
it's about split personalities and stuff. Yeah, and it's
like one of his personalities is straight and the other one's
yes. Well, one of his personalities is a woman. So she thinks she's having straight sex, but it's really him, so it's gay sex. Does that make sense?
That's just way too weird for me.
Jason?
Best show on TV right now is Jury Duty, hands down, outside of Seinfeld reruns.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, Jury Duty.
I gotta catch Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles this week. Came out on Friday.
Oh.
But I was busy.
I'm right there
Everyone's
with you.
telling me to watch The Gorgeous Gems or something.
The Righteous Gemstones.
Righteous Gemstones?
Yes.
That show, that show is so good. That show is so good. That show is a winner right there. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
You guys know what the best thing to watch on TV right now is?
What?
It's learn how to play music. The universe is a song made of music. Geometry is a spatial representation. Math. Music.
Oh, you know what? And with that, we're going to roll into the immortal Count himself. That's right. It's Mathieu St. Germain. He is the immortal Count that has been walking and talking on this land for thousands upon thousands of years, but yet still looks like he's in his late 30s. That's right. It is none other than the Mathieu St. Germain.
Thanks, Brother Jason.
Best show on TV is High at Nine News.
Oh, snap. I'll agree with that.
When you can see
music.
You can see me, Gretchen. We fixed that.
I've got my own technical difficulties. I don't have my other computer. My printer wasn't working, so I'm going to be reading off my article, though, about these mushroom churches that are popping up in the Bay Area. They're setting up shop in San Francisco, giving residents the ability to buy illegal hallucinogenic drugs at storefront locations. And for now, at least, these politicians and agencies don't appear to know how to respond. At least 2 churches selling mushrooms seem to have opened in the city this year. Door with a Z, an Oakland organization, expanded into San Francisco with a Soma location in April. And there's also the Living Church, a Lower Nob Hill storefront that started marketing magic mushroom sales on Instagram in June. Church openings came after a Haight Street storefront was raided in December of last year on suspicion of selling magic mushroom. Store's owner was charged with 3 felonies related to the alleged sales, leading to condemnation from Supervisor Dean Preston, whose district includes Haight-Ashbury. And I'm having trouble today. Preston questioned why the San Francisco Police Department chose to use extensive resources on a drug bust for substances he considers to be lowest priority. Felony case is still pending, according to Deputy Public Defender Lila Wolf, who is representing the owner. Both California law and federal law consider psilocybin and psilocin as illegal substances. Psilocybin is also still illegal in San Francisco, although reform efforts have advanced in recent years, including a 2022 resolution passed by the Board of Supervisors that supports the use of drugs like psilocybin and asks law enforcement to not prioritize punishing people who use these mushrooms that contain the substance. The resolution, though, is not legally binding. At the state level, California Senator Scott Wiener, a Democrat from San Francisco, has proposed reform efforts. This year, he proposed a law that would effectively legalize the use, possession, and cultivation of these mushrooms. For the time being, Zydor and the Living Church's best justification might be centered on a religious exemption carve-out. Federal law does give certain religious groups the right to use illegal drugs for spiritual reasons, like Unio de Vegetal and Centodyme. According to Graham Pechenik, a San Francisco-based attorney who specializes in cannabis and psychedelic law, 3 churches across the country have won the right to use ceremonial psychedelics, the other one being the Native American Peyote Way Church. He was careful to caution that's hardly an all-encompassing outcome for all. The article goes on, but I don't want to dive into my phone forever. Leave it to say Zydor was also busted in Oakland, and they have a case pending there. On one hand, I'm down for whatever carve-out it takes for us to have the freedom to exercise our sovereignty of our mind and use whatever substances we wish. It's kind of hypocritical to have a church that's really just a mushroom dispensary, but you got to do what you got to do. I'm really interested in hearing what y'all have to say about this emerging trend in legalized psilocybin-containing mushrooms.
I'm interested to hear what Chris Eggers got to say about this one.
I can tell you right now. So I was in there was a church in the Tenderloin district where I was a footbeat officer while I was there that allegedly was selling cannabis. No one cared, like couldn't care less. I walked by that place like 50 times a day. I promise you, or I don't promise you, I think in my opinion that any enforcement within the SFPD is not from the officers themselves. It's a directive from the top. So easy way to prove that is, any enforcement on, the church in San Francisco, you can pull an incident number. Anytime a law enforcement activity occurs, there's an incident number. And then to see how that incident was generated, I think will tell us how the enforcement was directed or who it was directed by. And in the case of the church selling cannabis, when I was there, it was the captain at the time directed somebody from her captain staff to go and cite them for something. And I know the officer, he's like, I don't want to do this, but I'm like ordered to go do this. I don't know what I'm doing. Like, why does anyone really care? So when they talk about law enforcement, enforcement, I think it's important for people to understand that it's not, it doesn't always mean that it's just like working beat cops, that are like going out of their way. It's probably a directive from a captain or somebody higher, and then that will come from the mayor's office. That's typically how that works. And of course, then the mayor's office gets to sit back and say like, they don't have to be involved at all because that was just a phone call and there's no record of it, but it happens all the time.
Well, Chris, also too, I mean, it could be coming from the actual detectives that are running the narcotics division. I mean, I remember Marty Halloran, and I don't remember the other guy's name, but used to be the main narcotics detectives in San Francisco. I mean, they called for enforcement on a number of different cannabis dispensaries in the very, very early days, even when Terrence Hallinan was the DA and would not prosecute anybody.
Yeah, I think if you're following up to date of what's going on with SFPD's narcotic unit right now, there's an officer in the news for having allegedly an inappropriate relationship with a CI. It's like kind of new, so have fun googling.
Hold on,
that.
bro. So he was having the tweakers. He was having inappropriate actions with the tweakers. You're telling me?
Ew.
She was.
Hold on, there's a female cop that was having this done?
Look at SF Standard, SF Gate, KTVU News. They've all reported on
man,
it.
I'm going to, please text me a link to this. I cannot wait to check this out.
Jason loves to see a lady cop with a libido.
I think arguments can be made that all CI interactions are inappropriate.
Word.
I mean, I'm not mad at that point.
I'm picking up what you're putting down, Rico.
Hey, here's a shovel. Can you dig it, fool?
You guys are funny, bro.
You got something to close us out today, Jason?
Yep, I got one more story for you guys. Yes.
Here you go, Gretchen. Yes, time for it.
Yep. Oh yeah, Gretchen, big old hater, Gretchen. It's all right. Mahoman store is shut down for alleged illegal cannabis sales. A store in Mahoning, Minnesota, that was allegedly selling cannabis illegally was shut down on Wednesday, according to the White Earth Nation. The dispensary that was shut down is separate from an operation authorized by White Earth tribal officials, which started selling marijuana for adult use purposes this week. A statement from White Earth officials said no one can produce or sell cannabis on the reservation without a license issued by the White Earth Medical Cannabis Control Commission. In a quote, the commission is authorized to issue a notice of seizure to any person or entity that is found to possess or sell illegal cannabis. The commission will seize and destroy any illegal cannabis within the exterior boundaries of the White Earth Reservation, a statement from the White Earth Band of Minnesota Chippewa tribe said. Regulating cannabis sales is a matter of safety, said White Earth Nation Chairman Michael Fairbanks. And in another quote, he says, the reason White Earth Nation takes care to regulate cannabis is so that one is hurt, and basically he's saying so that no one is hurt and no one is harmed. And so everyone is satisfied and happy with the product at our dispensary, he said. Fairbanks went on to say that White Earth may work with tribal members interested in the cannabis industry, and we need to do a lot of education with people first, he said. Man, oh man, there was a little trap shop that opened up in Minnesota already, and the tribes just snuffed them out. What do you guys think about this?
I want to see who was running this shop. Like you try to set up a trap shop on the reservation.
Yeah, right on the resi. Like it's
like
cool. Yeah.
it's like trap inception going on right here.
Man, bless their hearts.
And you see that the tribe has their shit together way more than any of the mainstream legal outlets trying to shut down things in outside of the reservation. Gotta give props to that.
Exactly, bro. This thing went fast for them. Like I don't even think they were open almost 24 hours, bro, and they're already shut down. I mean, they just
respect though.
They just started legal sales. Just last week, right?
Technically, they legalized last week, but anything that's non-reservation sales won't be happening until late 2025.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I think it was. I think it started on the 1st. So yeah, like this store couldn't have. This it's only the 7th now, bro. And we're reading this story, and so
got them.
They weren't open more than a week.
I can't wait to holler at Rochelle Gordon on this one. See what she see what she thinks. See if she has more intel off the ground on this one.
I just feel like the New York enforcement division needs to hire this tribe to do all their enforcement in New York because it seems like they're actually pretty good at it.
There was a major push for tribal dispensaries in New York as well. Gretchen, did you have any insight on that?
What about it?
Did they actually open? Are they going?
I believe there are some. They're in upstate New York. Okay. More. There's the Oneida tribe up there. I'm trying to remember who else was pushing hard on it. I don't know much more.
That'd be interesting. I mean, we could see an entire parallel market where, you know, all this retail and mainstream, or I'd say mainstream and non-reservation America gets all shut down. That goes to Schedule 3 pharmaceuticals, and then everybody just goes to the reservation, gets the good shit.
That'd be sweet.
That would happen.
How you like that?
That would happen. They would definitely control the marketplace.
That'd be a win.
Yeah, but then you'd have all the cops that just sit outside the reservation waiting to pull people over all the time. It'd be like a little death trap.
Chris is like, yeah.
Right? Ain't that what would happen, Chris?
Jason, you're not wrong.
See what I'm saying, guys? See what I'm saying? Entrapment at its finest.
Entrapping the trap.
Exactly.
All right. Well,
everybody grow weed, overgrow the system.
What do you think about that, St. Germain? Come on,
Just think everybody should grow weed. Grow a 4-lighter if you can. Grow an 8-lighter in your garage. Grow a few plants in the backyard. Trade weed with your friends for food. Give away cannabis. Rick Simpson oil. Give it to sick people. The Pandora's box has been open. You can never fit the thing back inside. It's one of those mattresses you get from Costco, dude. It's done. Just everybody grow weed. We'll get to where we're going eventually.
Oh man. I'm with you, Matthew. It's definitely it's too much sand to shovel it all back in the ocean. That's for sure.
Yeah. How's it gonna? The thing is, bro, we've been doing this weed thing since there was guys with machine guns and Darth Vader masks coming to fucking destroy our lives and kill our dogs and put us in prison. Now it's people with clipboards and computers. It's a lot less scary. It's done.
It's like you really want us to take you guys seriously.
It's fine. Growing cannabis. Try to learn to grow mushrooms if you can. Some mushrooms in nature. Breathe and connect with the tree. Take a moment in your day-to-day life to just slow down and breathe and feel yourself, feel who you are, feel your connection with or something, man. I don't know. I was in Portland all weekend. Can you tell?
It sounds.
You don't
like
have dreadlocks though, man.
It sounds like it. I mean, I would have expected a few more cuss words out of you, judging by Gretchen's story, since you were just up there in Oregon too.
I was in Portland proper, and it's a very kind, gentle place for them.
Very kind little place, huh? They don't cuss at their sushi chefs.
I like Portland. They got great sushi.
Everybody's nice up there, bro. They have good sushi. They have great food, great coffee. Everybody's really nice.
Shout out to Voodoo Donuts.
You know, they got Voodoo Donuts. Portland. And they got Loud. They got 2 things. They got Loud, Love Our Weed Daily, veteran owned.
Jesse Horton doing things.
That's right. Jesse Horton owned. They have baller ass weed, and they were out of what I wanted, but they were just really awesome guys. I had great conversations with them through their Insta and yada yada. We're gonna link up next time I'm up there. And they also in Portland they have Archive Seed Bank. They made the rainbow belts, the moon bow. There's a huge list, and they have great seeds, great flower. They're kicking ass. If you want to see how somebody in the legal game is doing it right, go to Portland, buy flower from those two businesses, look at it, see that it can be done.
Heard it here first.
Portland's pretty much known for their strip clubs, I thought, though.
I heard they have the most strip clubs
per capita
anywhere
than anywhere else in the world.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't see a single one though. I also wasn't looking.
Same stat out of Rico and Saint Germain, so I think it's true. Must be true.
It's true. But thank you all for joining us today for another episode of High at 9 News. You can catch us live weekdays, 9 a.m. Pacific, high noon on the East Coast. Big shout out to our super fans showing love and getting their comments live on the big screen, and the live audience and online supporters catching us across all media platforms, tuning in for the conversations of love every single day with us. Our vetted correspondents tuning in from all over, bringing us much needed variety of perspective and your respected opinions to the table. To our production team, Cloud Media Partners, House of Fuego, and all our sponsors, for the most part, keeping the lights on. But, Jason had to hide a little bit of things. He was doing some things with Ralph Nader today, but it is what it is.
I'm blaming it on Hunter
Shout out
Biden.
to Simone. Big shout out to her, holding us down on the other platforms. And always Cannabis Sativa L, the reason that the High at 9 News team reads these headlines every single day. Thank you. It has been Monday, August 7th, 2023. The show is over, and you've all been blessed with today's top industry headlines. Hope it was enough to put it in your pipe and smoke at least until Tuesday. I'm Rico Lamitte, the dopest dad on the street for High at 9 News. Chris Eggers, is he still here with us? What we got?
Still here.
What we got?
I'm still here.
What you got for us today, my man?
Happy Monday. Be kind to one another. That's it. Go out there, do some good.
Yeah.